What is up, my Lorcana Goons, and welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. My name is Kevin, and you're watching the Monday Weekly Market Watch, where we go over Lorcana news, meta trends, and card prices. We are back from the first North American Continental Championship, and we have a winner. Shout out to Edmund Chu for getting first place with Ruby Amethyst. Awesome player, awesome guy. We got to see it live. I was recording all weekend. I got to play in the main event, and I did not do too well, but it was such a fun weekend. Honestly, everyone has some criticisms. I have some personal criticisms that I'll talk about in a separate video with the vlog, but overall I had a great time, mainly because we're there with the Lorcana community, and it was awesome. The Lorcana community is goated, and the national tournament was pretty cool. You know what I mean? I honestly felt like it was a little bit less extravagant than a DLC. DLCs were a little bit more active, in my opinion, because by day 2 it did seem a little empty, but who am I to pass up the opportunity to see the first national champion crowned? So this is your top 8, by the way. Shout out Sailor, Zach, Bivin, Sean, Mo, Ed, Zan, and the other 2 players whose names slipped my mind right now, but Kurt Spies and Hamza also got their invite to Worlds. So we have plenty of Worlds competitors now, but they still haven't announced when the World Tournament is going to be held. But shout out to all the top 8, top 16, everybody who was in the national tournament, everybody who won their LCQ also. Shout out to Jonathan, shout out to Alex in our Discord. One of our Discord members won his LCQ pot and got to play in the national tournament with us. It was really awesome. Huge shout out to Katie from Lore Keepers In for capturing this moment. Everybody was super hyped. Everyone was super hyped. Look at this. The crowd was awesome. That's actually me right here. Little old me right here recording on my camera because I'm vlogging, right? So yeah, super exciting to see the national champion win his game. Shout out Ed if you guys are watching from home. I'm sure you guys enjoyed yourselves as well. Let's talk about some card prices from the weekend, because we were given these awesome Baymax promo cards. The top 16 was actually given the foil version of this card. However, the non-foil version was given to all the players of side events. Basically, all you had to do was participate in your side event, and they gave you these when it started. You didn't even have to finish your side event. Every round you won in your side event, depending on how it went, as far as I understood, you got some packs, but they were giving these promos the moment the side event started. So what ended up happening was a lot of people would show up to round 1 of their side event, and then by rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5, there were just a bunch of no-shows because people already acquired their promos. And as you can see here, they're selling for a decent price. They came down for sure because they used to be only available in Europe from the European Continentals, so that's where you're going to see this $150 price point come down to as low as $75 to $80 from some non-verified sellers right here. But going by the lowest verified, you're going to pay $90 by JR Cards right here for the non-foil Baymax Armored Companion promo, and it looks really nice. I'll give it some credit. For being a non-foil alt art, I actually am pretty impressed with how the card looks in person. I wish Lorcana did more alt arts like this that were not necessarily enchanted rare, maybe some non-foil alt arts, and then maybe in the packs you could have the ability to pull it in a foil as well. That would be really cool. But it's a shame that the alt arts are so expensive, right? Because like every alt art in this game is very pricey, is what it seems like, because it's either an enchanted rare or it's like a DLC exclusive promo or something like that, right? Whereas in other games, you can pull like an alt art that's not foil from a pack, and then you can pull that foil version, and you can pull like the extra extraordinary foil version. Lorcana doesn't have that yet, and I've been kind of saying this for a minute. I would like to see more of these in the wild, but if you want your Baymax promos, they're going to be around $80 to $90. The Cusco promo was the other promo that was also available. Cusco Temperamental Emperor, selling for a lot less than the Baymax one, for around $15. JR Cards has them for $75 with shipping included. That's for a verified seller. But look at this. Fuzzy Pickles has them for $61. They're a non-verified seller, but they have 100% rating, so I would trust that. It's a little bit cheaper than some of these other sellers that have them listed, and because they've been selling for around 60, 61. Over the weekend, I feel like the price felt heavy because a lot of people were just trying to get rid of them. But now there's a lot less listings, so you're going to be having to pay around $75 to almost $80 for this card, I want to say, by the end of the week. But you're going to see a lot of them on eBay listed as well, so if you can find them cheaper on eBay, if you're in California still, you're probably going to be able to find them on OfferUp, because a lot of people just kind of showed up to farm these. And like I was saying, they were really easy to acquire, but they're not going to be given at any other event. As far as I know, this is the one and only North American National Tournament and European Tournament. Maybe they're going to have these at the Australian DLC. That's a big maybe, but who knows? I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if they had them at the Australian DLC, just because I feel like they're trying to do a lot for other continents while they prepare for Worlds. And that's a bit another thing, too. They haven't announced when the World Tournament is. You know what I mean? And I think they should announce that soon. I want to go. I want to plan to go to that. And I'm sure a lot of people want to plan to attend the World Tournament, especially the World's competitors. But I also want to know, what's the format going to be like? Is it going to involve the Asian continents as well? Because, they they just got the first chapter. Are we going to wait for them for the first World Tournament, or are we going to throw a World Tournament with just like Europe, North America, and Australia? So what would you guys like to see about that, though? What do you guys think? This was actually the list and the deck that I played for the main event. It was 128 players of the best in the nation, and I tried to metagame a little bit and play some fancy stuff, and it didn't work out too well for me. I didn't have the best record at the end of it. Pretty much had like 2 to 3 losses and split the rest of them. But like I said, it was very enjoyable. There's a lot of memories playing at the lowest table by round 2, hanging out with Alex, and the food they fed us was actually pretty dope as well. So shout out the food. That's my motivation for topping again next year. I want to get fed again. This was some good Disney food. But yeah, as you can see, I was only playing 2 Genie, and the winner, Edmund Chu, was only playing 0 Genie in his Ruby Amethyst list. So I'm wondering, how long is this price going to stay this high? A lot of other decks were playing Genie, though. We had Amethyst Steel decks using some copies of Genie. We saw Blurple in the top cut, top 16. Shout out RMB. He was playing Genie in his Blurple list. So there was Genies running around the main event and the LCQs, but it does make me wonder, is this price going to stay this high at 17, almost $20 actually? Check this out. DXN Outpost has them for $19, shipping included. Shout out you guys. They've been selling for around $17 though on TCG Player, almost $18 to $19. So I wonder if they're going to be $20 still. But there's a lot of decks that are still using the Genie, like green purple as well. A lot of green purple in the tournament as well. So many blue red decks, so many Ruby Sapphire decks in that room. It was around 40 people were playing Ruby Sapphire out of the 128. So there's no surprise why Maui Shark is up again in price. Maui Shark $35 today, $34.99 by Druid's Lair. They're gonna have 4 of them for you with shipping included if you want to pick up a Maui Shark. They're not as expensive as I thought. I thought they'd be a little bit more because it feels like everybody's playing Ruby Sapphire, and it feels like everybody's playing 3 to 4 Maui Shark in their Ruby Sapphire deck. Cold foils are selling for $55. They went up a little bit. Last time I looked at these with Zach Stone, they were around $45 for the cold foils, and they seem to have jumped up around $5 to $10 at $55 now for a cold foil dragon. Big Cisus were everywhere. We had Ed Chu shifting big Cisu. We had Ruby Sapphire decks playing Cisus back to back to back. This card is so tilting to play against. You know what I mean? So shout out Ed Chu for building a Ruby Am deck that just ran over the Ruby Sapphire strategy. That's the reason why the non foils are now $35 for your big Cisus. Wow. Ed Chu was playing 2 shift Cisu, the Cisu empowered sibling in his deck, and now the non foils have gone up to $35 more, about $10 over the weekend. Pretty insane. Like I said, plenty of non-verified sellers, though. They have like 1 copy at around $25, $27, $28 maybe, but you're not going to be able to find more than 1 copy from anybody other than the Game Capital, which is our verified seller, for $34.30, shipping included. Cool. Big Cisus are expensive now. Wow, just as expensive as like something like Sad Beast. Check out these cold foils. We have some that are listed for even cheaper than the lowest verified for the non-foils. Some non-verified sellers have cold foils for $28, $28.85 with $1 shipping, and Multi-Monster Deals is our lowest verified for a cold foil at $30.39, shipping included. That's pretty good. That's still relatively close to the non-foil price, right? Wait a second. So you can buy the non-verified seller ones for less than $30, but if you're buying from a lowest verified, it's going to be $35 for the non-foil actually. And the cold foils, let me double check that. The cold foils are the same price. The cold foils are cheaper. The cold foil Cisus are cheaper than the non-foil Cisus right now. That is actually insane. Like, are you guys seeing this? Am I tripping? Okay, yeah. So if you want to get some good deals right now, some cold foil Cisus are listed cheaper than the non-foil Cisu empowered sibling. So do with that information what you will. If you want to get some deals, I think that's them deals today. All right, let's move on to Mufasa before I start spending a bunch of money. I need to finish this market watch. So Mufasas are not going up too much in price, but I did see them a lot in the tournament, which is pretty interesting. So I think they're subject to be pretty popular in the near future. Less than $10 right now, $8 with $1 shipping by Spa City NC. Then it jumps to $9.64, so that's a deal right there too for your legendary Mufasa B trade leader. I like Mufasa decks right now, especially in a sea of Ruby Amethyst and Ruby Sapphire. Mufasa decks do stand out to me. Cold foils are selling for $27.99, lowest verified by ABC's TCG. These have been going up since December too, as from $25 to around $30 for your cold foil Mufasas. Elsas are going up this weekend, especially since RMB topped with Blurple. You can see Elsa rising from $10 to $15 right now for a non-foil Elsa from the first chapter, the Spirit of the Winter, Lowest verified is by BK Games US. Near mint is selling for $14.97 now, $15 for your Elsa. Pokeball Collectibles also has them for around that price, $13.72 with $2 shipping. Let's take a look at these cold foils because there's only 15 listings available, and the lowest verified is now $50 again by Titanium Cards LLC. Then Hidden Games also has it for $50 with a little bit more shipping. Yeah, these were around 45 bucks, and now they're going to be as high as 50 bucks again. Here's some other very popular cards that I want to look at cold foils because over the weekend these were found in just a lot of deck lists. A Pirate's Life. People like Kendall Burdett were even playing Pirate's Life in their Ruby Amethyst list. A lot of Ruby Sapphire lists. I think it's mandatory to play like 2 Pirate's Life now in Ruby Sapphire, to be honest. So it's no wonder why this card is selling for $12 now. Lowest verified by Omega Gaming for a cold foil Pirate's Life. That's pretty cool. These were super cheap at 1.2. You can see it. They were selling for cents, literally pennies, 34 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents in October. And now these are $10 to $12 cold foils. This is why cold foil bulk is like really insane, right? So cold foils are super expensive. If you guys ever have decks that you truly believe in, just buy the shiny versions of the card because look what can happen. Look what can happen to an uncommon like Pirate's Life, right? Going up in price. Duck Manor was seeing a lot of gameplay over the weekend. A lot of Ruby Sapphire decks playing Duck Manor in their deck, and it's still pretty cheap in my opinion. Lowest verified is still going to be around 50 cents with $1.27 shipping. So there's still 50 cents each, and you're going to have to pay maybe like $1 for that shipping. So it's about $1, $2 cold foil right now if you buy it online, but maybe in person you can find them for 50 cents, $1, which would be cool because like I said, a lot of Ruby Sapphire decks were playing this, and I feel like a lot of people are using this in their Sapphire strategies lately. If you guys were watching the finals, then you got to see Ed Chu play 3 Library back-to-back against the Ruby Sapphire player, and he was playing 4 Library in his Ruby Amethyst deck. So I think Library is going to become a staple in Ruby Amethyst, and I'm surprised the price hasn't gone up too much yet since last night, but they were selling for around $2.50 on Friday, and now the lowest verified is going to be around $5 to $4. $3.90 with $1.27 shipping by Hyperion Games LLC. Then GNC Pair of Dice has it for $5.48 with shipping included. So around $5 shipping included for your cold foil libraries, and it's nice to see this card get the respect it deserves because this card is broken. And the fact that it was selling for less than $5 for a cold foil up until just recently, because Ed Chu won with 4 of them in his deck, really says a lot about how we dictate the card prices. You know, these cards are good. You know, so just pick them up when you want to make them shiny before they shoot up in price, right? Cisu, the Emboldened Warrior, going up in price a little bit too. This obviously being a staple in your Ruby Amethyst strategy. The winning deck list was playing this Cisu alongside the Shift Cisu, so you can play this on turn 3 after you played Flynn. Going back up in price almost $5 each now. $3.95 after Clutch Cards, who has it for $3.10 with $1.27 shipping. So it's a $5 card in my opinion. I'm not going to sell this for less than $5. Very strong card in the meta. Cold foils going up in price a little bit as well. Check this out. They're going to be lowest verified today for $11 with $1 shipping. So almost $12 shipping included for a cold foil Cisu Emboldened Warrior, which is a little bit better than the $10 price point. Check this out. Strength of a Raging Fire also in everyone's deck at this weekend steel deck. Shout out Zach Bivens. Zach Bivens making it to World's top 8 of the tournament with strength. He had 4 copies of strength in his deck, in his Amethyst Steel deck. It was really cool. $10 with $1 shipping is the lowest verified. Then it jumps to $11.42 with extra shipping. So it's still around a $12 to $13 rare for the non-foil Strength of a Raging Fire. It's a very strong card. Cold foils, there's not that many available because the lowest verified is now $20.99 by Illustrious C&G. So you're gonna have to pay at least $20 for a cold foil Strength of a Raging Fire now. So if you want your deck shiny for set championships, you're going to have to pay a little bit more because the prices are going up now that we have seen the results of the championships from North America. Check out Diablo. A lot of decks were playing 4 copies of Diablo to combat the Ruby Sapphire strategy. Ed Chu played 4 Diablo, 4 Chernobog, and 4 Library, a total of 12 one-cost characters. And now this Diablo is selling for $2 each with $1.27 shipping. So shipping included, you're going to pay around $3 per Diablo. This card's broken too. It's an uncommon from the recent set, and again, also getting the respect it deserves. It's starting to get expensive out here for some of these uncommons. Last, Ed was playing 4 copies of Lady Tremaine, no Medusa, and I think because of that, we're seeing this Tremaine shoot up in price just a little bit. They were selling for less than $1 in December, about $1 on the dot, and today, lowest verified is going to be $175 with $127 shipping. So after shipping, around $3 for your Lady Tremaines. The Imperious Queen, a very strong card, and check this out, even the Enchanted Rare is going up in price a lot, actually. This one's shooting up in price dang near double. It's about 100% increase. Lowest verified is now $170 for your Enchanted Lady Tremaine. And going by the recent sales, we can see that a lot of them have been selling for not necessarily this price point, but at least $100. 106, $95, $90, $82, $99. So if somebody wants to buy my Enchanted Tremaine, you best bet I'm going to be asking for at least $100, probably more. Probably more going by these listing prices because the demand is there. Love to see it. I actually picked up two Lady Tremaines for my deck because I was playing just two Tremaine and nothing else. And I wanted to play a third one, but I didn't want to buy a third Enchanted Tremaine. But I missed out. Now I really don't want to buy a third Enchanted Tremaine because these went up. Shout out Ed Chu winning with Ruby Amethyst taking first place and causing these market trends, these crazy prices. Cinderella Ballroom Sensation also going up a little bit in price. We did see a lot of Amber Steel in the top cut. And if you're playing Amber Steel or an Amber strategy like the Diggy Diggy Hole deck, song or something like that, you're probably playing the Cinderella Ballroom Sensation in your deck. So, a lot of big ballers want to play with this Enchanted in their deck, and a lot of collectors want to collect this Enchanted rare. So it's kind of getting a little bit expensive out here for Cinderella Ballroom Sensation. Lowest verified is 309 with $5 shipping. Then it jumps to 325 by Fancy Cardboard TCG. So it's around 325 from these first sellers, and then it takes until Tornado Games to hit 350. And they have 4 of them for you, so it'll be a while before I think it sells for more than 350. But at least 300 to 325 is the what I would sell my Cinderella's for, which is not too expensive compared to this Invited to the Ball listing we have right here for $2,500 on TCG Player. This is the only listing, and I'll tell you right now, that's not how much it sells for. But it's nice to have one of these. In fact, check it out, my goons. They actually gave it to us in a top loader this time when they gave us the Dragon Fires. They don't give it to the Uniplat in a top loader, but they gave us this in a top loader, which was cool. Really excited to have this. This isn't what it sells for. I'll go ahead and get you the real price right now, but I also want to show you these Baymax sleeves they gave me. Could not win the Baymax map, cannot win the Baymax promo card foil, but we got the sleeves at least by being a participant, and these were the non-foils right here. But yeah, really awesome card. It's super pretty. I don't know if I want to get it graded because when I took it out of the sleeve, it kind of has like a warp. It's kind of curved, unfortunately. I think it might have been because of how cold it was. I don't know what, but these have been selling for around $1,400 from what I can see. We have a recent sale on Christmas through eBay that sold for 1,450 pounds, for 1,450 pounds. And I believe we talked about this before. So there's not that much sales data on these. Plenty of listings on eBay though. We have a lot of listings from the challenge stuff actually on eBay. From the Continentals, I mean. These Cusco is listed for $60+. This is the Mickey Mouse promo that you get. And it even has a little space right here for signatures. So they announced that they were going to be making promo cards like this. That they have gaps in here, no text, no flavor text, and a little pen right here. And the point of this is that you can take them to the theme parks, take them to Disney events, and get them signed by the Disney cast members, the characters, right? So you get it signed by the real Mickey Mouse at Disneyland, which I think is really cool. I actually really enjoy that. I have mine right there too in the bag. It's in my deck box actually. And the listings for the Baymax. So there's a lot of listings for the Nationals stuff right here that you can find on eBay. There is, however, a PSA 10 Invited to the Ball auction going on right now, and there's 21 bids. Right now, it's at $1,725. There's still 2 days before it ends, but it's already at more than $1,500 for a PSA 10. So I think it's safe to say maybe a PSA 9 or a Raw, even, which usually compares there, would probably sell for, I don't know, maybe $900 to $1,000. At the event, one of the vendors was buying them in for $700, and most vendors are buying at a percentage of market price. So if they're buying at 70% and they're paying $700, and to them market price might be anywhere around $1,000 to a little bit more. So if you got one of these, maybe get it graded. I'm gonna have it at our booth at Ninja Exchange at the shops in Carlsbad. So if you're in Southern California and you want to come check out this prize card or check out some of the stuff or just come say hi, you can find me at the Ninja Exchange at the shops in Carlsbad. I sell Lorcana there, I sell some Yu-Gi-Oh there, my friend sells Pokemon there. So if you need any Lorcana stuff, you can find me there. And if you want to buy this card, you could also find me there, right? But I want to talk about the first chapter booster boxes real quick before we call it a day. I feel like these are always good to keep track of. They were giving out first chapter at the Continental event. They had some first chapter side events, which was pretty cool. But it seemed very limited. The side events for those capped, they weren't on demand. And a lot of the events included first chapter and Floodborn. So it wasn't just first chapter draft. It was like you're drafting with both of them. And I feel like maybe they were doing that to save some packs, Lowest verified right now for a sealed box is still around $350 by Octo Dave. So they're going to stay around $350 still. I'm pretty confident that these see a lot of sales movement, however. Before we end our Monday Market Watch, we're going to do our Monday segment PSA Mondays. This is where we go on 130 point, we type in Disney Lorcana PSA 10, and we check out what kind of slabs have been selling on eBay. Because apparently a lot of people buy slabs of this game, PSA 10 slabs anyways, on eBay. So the most recent PSA 10 slab is a Cheshire Cat right here for $40. That's a cold foil Cheshire Cat, PSA 10, $40 right there. We have an Enchanted Clarabelle here, PSA 10, selling for $240 on January 13th. We have another Fairy Godmother Legendary Foil, PSA 10, selling for $40. Some of the random ones too, like Stampede, Foil Stampede, PSA 10, $47. We have a Poison Apple, $50 for a PSA 10. Oh, I like this one. Enchanted Olaf, a PSA 10 Enchanted Olaf selling for $160. That's about double the price for this PSA 10 actually, because ungraded is about $70. Ooh, check this one out. PSA 10 Cold Foil Rapunzel, $150 for that one. You guys collect slabs? Let me know. I'm actually kind of curious to see, because I don't really see too many slabs in person, and the ones I have seen are like D23 promos or like DLC promos. I'm talking like random slabs like this. These are selling for 200 pounds, around 250 USD for the non-foil Rapunzels at PSA 10. The DLC promo ones anyways. A Dragonfire DLC promo PSA 10 only sold for $75. That's really cheap, because the non-foils for these, the raw for these sells for around $40 to $50. So a PSA 10 only selling for 25 bucks more is really cheap in my opinion. PSA 10 Ursula Enchanted, wow, selling for only $162. That's really cheap too. Okay, so sometimes you can find some deals on eBay, I guess, on some PSA 10s. That's really close to the raw price. Since we're on 130 point though, let's take a look at some other graded 10 cards. We had an Elsa that sold just recently on January. That was actually today, January 13th. An Elsa with a PSA grade 9, but an autograph grade 10, sold for $1,050 today. Let me know how you guys feel about that one, because a raw Elsa is around $800. This one is signed by the artist, and it has this like little animation of Olaf and a Pascal, which is really interesting. I think that's Pascal, right? But selling for around $1,050 because it is still a PSA 9. PSA 10s do sell for a little bit more. $1,465 is the most recent comp for a PSA 10 Elsa Enchanted still, and some other sales on January 11th pretty much matching that same price. But they've been going up is what it's looking like, because from January 7th, 8th, they were around $1,300, and now the most recent sales are $1,400. So maybe we'll see it more than $1,500 very soon. We actually had a BGS Elsa also sell recently on January 10th, a BGS 9.5 Elsa selling for $1,111 at 23 bids. Pretty cool to see that one right there actually. And if you were at the North American Continentals, they gave us a bunch of other stuff as well, like this Mickey, like we were talking about. People are selling these on eBay, a signed Mickey Mouse. There was a Mickey Mouse there, and by the way, this sucked, because if you were playing in the main event, you basically missed everything on Saturday, and Saturday was like all the fun stuff. They had Mickey Mouse, they had a bunch of people signing stuff. But if you were playing in the main event, you were in a room upstairs by yourself, secluded from everybody else. So I did not get to get my Mickey Mouse signed by the real Mickey Mouse. So I was a little disappointed. But somebody's selling theirs, and they sold it for $69.95 on eBay, which is pretty insane. Four Baymaxes selling for $250 right there. That's pretty cool. Oh, you also got this Cinderella pin. These are selling for $100, which is really nice to see. So if you went to the Nationals, you got some cool stuff that you can, maybe get rid of if you want to, or just some cool keepsakes, But once again, huge shout out to everybody who is going to Worlds representing North America. Can't wait to see the World Tournament. Can't wait for them to announce the World Tournament. You know what I mean? Congrats to all the players. Congrats again to Ed Chu for being our first North American champion. Can't wait to see what the new future meta holds. Set 7 is creeping upon us, but we do have set championships coming up very soon as well. I think set champs start this week, if I'm not mistaken, at least in my area. So let me know what you guys got planned for set champs. I'm probably going to play Purple Steel. Ooh, if you're a Patreon member, I'm going to make a Patreon post about what deck I should play at set champs. I'm going to have a couple options. One of them is going to be some Red Steel Spice, maybe a pirate deck. The other one's going to be I have to play a purple deck with Goons in it, so either way, so I'll leave some options there for any Patreon and YouTube members for what decks you want to see me play at set championships, and I'll try to go to as many as possible and win some scar mats with them. So I hope you guys have an awesome start to your week. Be sure to stay tuned to Lorcana Goons for all Lorcana content. My name is Kevin. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe if you're a Lorcana Goon, and we'll see you Goons next time.